Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Taxi! Okay, we're looking around. This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Joining me right now is the greatest attorney ever. I know I say that to Joe Tacopina. I say it to Arthur Aidala. I say it to Jose Baez. I say it to my beautiful wife, Danielle Rosenberg. But in all seriousness, Alan Dershowitz is the best of all, as good as it gets. Mr. Dershowitz, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm watching the news. I'm rooting for the U.S. Air Force and the Israeli Air Force to finally bring down those tyrants and to restore Iran to a democracy. That's what I watch. That's what I hope for every minute of every day now.
Yeah, me too. And I believe that this is a noble mission, like Trump said. I'm sorry we lost servicemen, but where we are getting beat up, Alan, and again, this is very personal to you and I, is in Israel. People died there in Tel Aviv on Saturday, in Jerusalem on Sunday. I've got a friend, I keep mentioning her name is Gatit Botera, and she actually dragged me into the bomb shelter when I did my show for the 1-year anniversary, October the 7th, 2024, from Sderot. When I heard these bombs colliding overhead, it was actually very, very scary. And she keeps sending me these live videos. I get them even before Fox News, Alan, of all these missiles that make it through the Iron Dome and have hit buildings and killed people on the ground in Israel. So while this is a great mission, I'm all for it. I applaud President Trump, Marco Rubio, and Pete Hegseth. We are losing our friends in Israel, Alan, almost every day.
I agree. And, of course, the difference, as Prime Minister Netanyahu pointed out, is Iran is targeting civilians, synagogues, children, and the United States and Israel are targeting only military targets, only terrorists. And that's the difference between good guys and the bad guys in a war like this. And obviously Iran wants to kill as many civilians, not only Israeli civilians, but Arab civilians as well in countries that have generally been allied with Iran. But they're striking out in desperation because they're going to lose their country, hopefully.
Yeah, it does look that way. And right now, Trump has said, along with Hegseth, that the United States, Alan, has complete control of Iranian skies. And basically, Tehran's Navy is at the bottom of the Persian Gulf. We sank 11 ships in Oman a couple of days ago in literally 15 minutes. So in terms of the American win in Iran, it looks like it's happening relatively quickly.
It is, except that there are still plenty of rockets and drones. Drones are the real problem. There are thousands of them. They're easy to fire. They can be fired from the back of trucks. They don't need launching pads. And Iran can continue to terrorize innocent people all through the Middle East. And imagine if they had nuclear-tipped rockets or nuclear-tipped drones, what the situation would be. So I think everybody in the world, every peace-loving people should be cheering and rooting for a total and complete and unequivocal U.S.-Israeli victory. And I can't believe the Schumers and the Democratic Party. Look, I understand the AOCs. They are, radical, Jew-hating, American-hating people who are always rooting for the enemy. But you get guys like Schumer, is supposed to be Shomer Yisrael, Guardians of Israel, or that horrible, horrible organization called J Street, which claims to be pro-Israel. I had dinner the other night with one of the former, I can't disclose who, a former prime minister of Israel, and I asked him, is anybody in Israel against this? And the answer was no. Israel is 100% in favor of this. And yet those horrible people at J Street who claim to be pro-Israel and pro-peace are against this. And they're attacking and condemning the United States and Israel for doing the job the world wants to see them do, and that is destroy this evil, evil menace. But J Street's on Iran's side, basically. How can any decent person belong to J Street? I don't understand it. It's a fake organization. It's just a front for the Democratic Party. Anything the Democrats say, they say. They should call themselves pro-Democratic Party, not pro-Israel. They're defrauding the American public.
No, you're right. And talking about Chuck Schumer, and I don't want to get into it because I've already apologized to the mayor, and it was heartfelt. I've done it about 10 times this morning, and it was heartfelt at 6 o'clock, and it's still heartfelt now. I should not resort to name calling, but you know, I'm still very upset with him when it comes to policy, and he's right in that same boat of all these Democrats, DSA people that hate Israel and are not very upset with, and in fact are very upset, with the United States and Israel for doing this. But what's interesting is Chuck Schumer was very, very quick to condemn me a couple of days ago in this whole back and forth with the mayor. Yet, like you said, he's the most powerful Jewish senator in the world, in the country. And he has done nothing, I mean nothing, other than call out Bibi Netanyahu, never, ever defend a Jewish person, hasn't done anything to make anybody believe he cares about our people. So it is interesting when somebody condemns you and then they show you their character, and it does seem a bit hypocritical, no?
Look, being condemned by Chuck Schumer is the greatest badge of honor you can have these days. And you and I have in common terrific enemies lists. The people who hate us are among the worst people in the world. And so as long as we stick to our principles, I agree with you that there's no sense calling names or using analogies to animals or things like that. Okay, I can understand criticism for that, but you criticize the right people for the right reasons, and people should be on your side, and not on the side of the Iranians. And I very, very much worry about the future of our country when you see that a majority of Americans today don't seem to support the American military in going after Iran. There's something very, very dangerous about that phenomenon. I think American support will increase as American victories increase in Iran, but still,
I don't know.
Initial instincts
I don't know.
are not in the right direction.
You're right, but there are two things that go against what you just said, and they're both illnesses that I don't believe there's a cure for. One is TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. You know, if Joe Biden would have done this, what Joe Biden did was the complete antithesis, right? Him and Obama, they enriched Iran. They made sure that Iran had the money so they can fund all these proxies, the Houthis and Hamas and Hezbollah. They did the opposite. But if Biden would have done this, they would have loved him. Oh, what a hero, right? But because they hate Trump, and even more than Trump, because they hate Israel and Bibi, all that list that you and I are on, they all hate Israel and Bibi. I'm not sure if even American wins will make these people happy because they care more about hating Trump and Bibi than American wins.
No, I agree with you. I think that those people will never change. Look, when Obama went into Libya, nobody said you needed the War Measures Act. You had the leaders of the Democratic Party saying, no, he has the right to do this under the Constitution. Every president has said that the War Act that restricts the presidential authority to defend America is unconstitutional, and it is unconstitutional. Let's be very clear. The framers of the Constitution originally said Congress has the power to make war. James Madison, the father of the Constitution, said, no, that restricts the power of the president too greatly. Congress only has the power to declare war. It's the president who is the commander-in-chief who has the power to wage war and defend America, exactly the way Trump did this weekend. And any American constitutional scholar who ignores the history of the framing of that Article 1 provision is distorting and misleading Americans. The President of the United States has the authority to make war. They did it how many times since the end of the Second World War without objection? Mostly Democrats. Truman, Kennedy, Johnson, Carter, you name it, Clinton, Obama, Biden, they all did it without any objection from the Democrats. So the way the Democrats read the Constitution is it says, only Republican presidents require congressional approval. Democratic presidents don't. That's not what the framers of the Constitution had in mind.
Now, going back to Israel for a second, great job there, Alan. That's a great rant and 100% true, all of it. Thank you so much. Going back to Israel, the hate is there. It's real. And now we see it, of course, on the right side, the left side. We know the Democrats are just rooted in anti-Semitism from the squad to even Jewish people that don't speak out. To me, that's every bit as bad, whether you're Chuck Schumer.
Lander is a disaster.
Lander, Nadler and Raskin, they're all terrible. But now we see it on the right, loud mouths, people making a lot of money, people idolize, like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and Marjorie Taylor Greene. And their narrative is that this is not Trump's war. This is Israel's war. Got to the point where Sean Hannity even had to ask Bibi Netanyahu live on television 2 nights ago, what do you think about the contention that you dragged America into the war? Got into the point yesterday where President Trump came out and said it himself. No, I dragged Israel into the war. But the truth is, there are still people out there every day saying this is not America's war. This is all about the President of the United States, and his name is Bibi Netanyahu.
Let's be clear what the facts are. Both the United States and Israel decided it was essential to destroy the growing missile possibilities that they have. Now the question was timing. The timing came when the United States, through its fantastic intelligence, discovered that there was going to be a meeting of all the leaders, including the Ayatollah. They then informed Israel, and then Israel waged the attack with the support of the United States. This was a joint mission, a joint decision, and it never would have occurred without President Trump making the final decision. It was his decision. It's his responsibility. He did the right thing. He should be praised for it. And Bibi went along, and the Israeli Air Force helped to make the skies safe for American planes, as they did 6 months ago when they went in and destroyed some of the nuclear reactors. It's a joint effort, and trying to put the blame on Israel goes back to the oldest anti-Semitic canard that, Jews pull the strings and the others just follow along. No, this was an American decision made by Donald Trump, and the timing was based on the fact that the United States discovered, with the help of Israel, that these leaders were going to be gathered in one place, and you don't miss an opportunity like that. And they took that opportunity. They destroyed the leadership. It's the best thing that could have happened to the world. Can you imagine how much better the world would have been if Hitler and all of his people had gathered together one day and the United States had discovered that and had destroyed that in 1942. 50 million lives would have been saved. You know how many? We don't know how many lives were saved by the killing of the Ayatollah, because if they had developed nuclear weapons, they would have used it against the world. That's part of their religious doctrine.
Alan, you're the best. There really is nobody better. 100% on everything you said during this appearance. I love you. Can't wait for your new book. I'm honored again that I'm going to be in the book. We'll get to that later. But thank you so much for hopping on this very important morning today, Alan Dershowitz. Thank you.
Keep doing great things. Thanks a lot.
I appreciate you saying that. Alan Dershowitz, you heard him. Keep doing great things. And my promise to you, Alan, and all of New York is you got it. We'll take a quick break, come back. We still have to talk to Stephen and Dr. George, and then we'll wrap things up. We are live this morning from the West Orange site of Gastroenterology Associates of New Jersey, Gange. We come back, close shop on a Wednesday, right after these words.
That's a wrap for this minicast. Everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less. Short, sharp, and straight to the point. Don't forget to follow, rate, and share with your friends. For more bite-sized takes, go to WABCRadio.com/minicast and download the 77 WABC app. See you next time for a new episode. Stay curious, stay sharp, and keep the conversation going so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.